they scan. So what you really need, you need very, very small paragraphs, or even one line and then read more. So it's a call to action. If you want to read more, click here. If you don't, go on. So in all these websites, what you see where they have pages and pages and pages of text, really this, you can see on their statistics that people, they just go there, they click on it, and they go somewhere else. So it's not how many information you have there, it's really about having the right information there. Paul, what do you think?
Jumble.
Jumble, okay.
You know, it depends on the purpose. The home page, yes, you can't have too much text. But once people drill down into the site, you need to give them more information based on what they're asking for. So, yeah, the home page needs to be focused. I would say, rather than talking all about your business, more specifically talking about what the benefit they'll get by going any further, no matter whether it's clicking a link or getting a download, joining your subscriber list, or making a purchase. The headline, the images, whatever copy is there, if you're using video or audio, it all needs to be focused on what's the benefit for my clients. We call them loyals, and what we do is, as you mentioned before, you need to know who it is and who specifically, and one of the ways to do that is actually we help our clients build what's called a loyals profile, where you will actually build a profile with a picture and everything of the exact person you're talking to, so that when you go to work on your site, to write any web copy, to make a product offer, whatever it might be that you're doing, you know exactly who you're talking to. You review your loyals profile, and it's just as if, you know, I went and talked to Tom, I'm talking to a person. And what you're doing then is you're connecting with that person who is a representation of your ideal client or your ideal prospect. And that's really a big help for putting yourself in the right frame of mind.
That's very true. That's very true. A very important part today about websites is actually, and Chris can tell you a little bit more about that, we want to focus a little bit about statistics of websites. What I'm really fascinated about websites with is any media, if you have advertising in a magazine, if you have advertising in TV or in radio, and let's say the only feedback you can get that your advertising is really well taken there is if your phone starts ringing. So if business is coming in. If no business is coming in, you have no idea what happened. Did you have the wrong magazine or the wrong ad in the wrong medium? Did you talk to the wrong people? Is your product wrong? Is your offer wrong? What's going on? You have no idea. And you talk to your rep and said, hey, I spent for like $5,000 advertising with you, not a single phone call. So now the rep of the company, whatever it is, radio or TV, I tell you, oh, you need to do this one time more. You know, it's need to be, you know, it's probably new, but you have really no idea what's going on. See, with the website, you will be able to see any traffic-related statistics to your website. So today we can see how many people come to your website, average how long they stay, what pages they go to, what they were looking for. We are even able to copy or to replay the last visitor on your website. Actually, so far we can see the last visitor, where he went with the mouse on your website, so where he were looking around, what pages they clicked to. So now, if you are, let's say you get a website and your website is optimized and your phone is not ringing, you just go back to statistics and you see in the statistics for your website exactly what people have done on your website, what they like and what they don't like. Please tell a little bit more about this.
Well, the statistics, like you said, are the most valuable part, in my estimation, of new media. I've run retail stores before. In the past, we had a retail store in a big mall. And boy, I wish I could know everything about that store and how everything worked on the back end. You're trying to figure out how people found you and all this kind of stuff, and what marketing is working. Online is just phenomenal. You can actually track everything that comes in. And you know, funny enough, a number of our clients don't have a physical retail store, and they're not going to fit in the paradigm of running e-coupons and e-specials, right? Like Kauai Vacation Rental Business, I'm thinking of, and Go Airlines, and some of our clients. They don't have that physical, tangible thing. But what we can do is go online and actually track the traffic and find out where people are coming from. I have a great example of that. I have a real estate company in Kahala. We were tracking the traffic and realized that we had a guy logging in from an IP address in London. He logged in 2 days in a row, spent a lot of time looking through a couple properties, about an hour each day on the site. And so we gave a heads up to the real estate agent and said, hey, we got this guy from London that's come on the website. He's been browsing around and he's been looking at X, Y, and Z properties and he might call you pretty soon. And sure enough, 3 days later, the guy picked up the phone and called. And they were all ready with the properties and everything. Pretty fascinating. So that's the kind of stuff that's pretty intensive. There's some entry-level analytics you can do, but it's very important to have somebody who understands the traffic and can watch it for you, because most of us as entrepreneurs have far too many hats on our heads as it is, and to take up another task like that is another thing that's probably not going to get done. So it's good to have somebody in your camp who can read and understand the reports and help you grow your site. I guess the last thing I want to say on that is that the people that you might start out thinking your users are, as you build your site and as you grow your site, you might begin to find that your users are altogether different than you originally thought they were. And that happens quite often, and it's pretty fascinating. So.
Right. Let me tell you, for the people of you that don't have yet a website and they actually think about getting a website, maybe we should get a little bit in the basics. So what are the do's and don'ts if you like to get a website? And what is really important beyond the choice of people you're working with. And there are so many different options in what you can do, and it's largely also depends on what you want to do with your website and what's your budget. Because you can spend, probably, we just heard, there's probably the opportunity to spend $50 a month to get something really basic up where you can get started. Or there is, you know, professional websites. We're talking about an investment of between $5,000 and $10,000. And there are a lot of big boys out there that spend $50,000 and $100,000 just on a website. So you have to find first, where do you fit in. But there are three major criteria I tell people, three major questions they need to ask, and three answers they have to find. And it's really funny that a lot of people I talk to, and we have done hundreds of websites in the last 2 years, they actually never ask this question. The first question is, who is my audience? I really need to if I want to attract the right audience, then I need to do the right website for this audience, and I need to have the right profiles there. Question number one is, what do I want people to do when they are on my website? And it's a simple question, but actually the answer is not so simple. And number three, finally, what is it what I want people to do when they're off my website? So that's called call to action buttons. So what is my audience basically, and what are my call to action buttons, and what is it really what I want from people to do after they were on my website? So, and this is kind of the basics, and from there on I can start taking it. Jean-Paul.
Okay. So, but you can imagine if you had a restaurant and that restaurant sat empty, is it going to attract anybody else there? No, you're going to walk by, right? So, like Tom said before, I mean, the more traffic you get, the more activity there is on the site, at least with a new media site. For the regular static site, nobody can tell there's a lot of activity. It's what's called social proof, where a crowd gathers, more of a crowd will gather. And you go out onto Waikiki here, and I bet you $20. You go out to the corner, and you stand, and you look up. Now, if you stand there alone, most people are going to think you're wacko. But get two friends to one by one come over to you about 30 seconds apart. And now there's three of you standing looking up. And you watch, within 5 minutes, there will be a crowd of 20, 30, 40 people. We've done it in New York City, and it's amazing. New York City, they're the most jaded people in the world. But the point is that if you're running a new media-based site where people can see comments, they can see other people, other visitors have come, they've left comments, they're engaging on the site. It's going to create more activity on the site, which is going to increase the amount of time on the site, which is going to help boost your rankings, because Google looks at all that and increases your ranking based on factors like that. But I mean, one thing, what Tom said, those three things, those are important. I would say, to boil it down even simpler, just remember 3 words, and these are the only 3 things that you need to be doing online. You need to be attracting, connecting, and converting. Those are the only 3 things that count. Anything else is a waste of time. So the analytics help you with all 3, but attract the right audience, connect with them, build trust and rapport, and then convert them some way. Like I said before, at least a base level, getting them on a subscription list so that you can continuously be in contact with them. So